everybody. Just seeing if anybody's gonna. I'm trying this new thing here, and hopefully, it's working, so that everybody can come on. So I'm just waiting for people to hop on. Guess we can listen to some music. It's like a little background music. They have some music on here. So if you guys are just coming in. If you guys are just coming in, say hello in the comments so that I can see that you guys are on. Um, so that way I can, if you guys want to comment and let me know you guys are watching, that'd be great. Meanwhile, like my cats are fighting over there. It's been crazy with this with this moon energy and everything. I don't know about anybody else, but my cats have been, or anyone else's animals, but my cats have been going insane. Like they're constantly fighting with one another. And I don't know what's up with that. So it's kind of a crazy thing. But I wanted to come on. Hi, Kathy. So, hi, Laura. This I'm doing this new thing here where hi Lee, you guys are all starting to come in now, which is great. So I'm using this new streaming thing, which is great because it allows me to stream to two different areas. Because I'm finding that whenever I go live on Facebook, there's something that always goes wrong with the live. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. They're clearly changing their systems around, so I'm having to do a workaround, and this is what it is. This isn't a new system here. It's been powered by. So we're going to give this a try and see if it works. If it works, then we'll continue using it. If it doesn't, then we'll just find something else. So I hope you guys are all doing well. If you guys want to share the live so that way people can see that I'm on. I've shared it to a couple of different groups, but there's a bit of a delay, actually a longer delay here than I normally am used to. So sorry if I don't get to your comments right away, but hello, welcome everybody. Today I decided that I asked for a little bit of like before every live, I always ask, actually at the end of the last live, I usually ask, what is the next thing that I want to be talking about? I usually ask for some guidance, and this time around, it's kind of like crickets. I didn't really hear anything from them, and I was just like, what's going on? What's the matter? Did I lose something? Hi, hi, Abby, and it would just kind of it took a little longer than normal than they normally come in. So I guess I'm just supposed to be doing like a little Q&A here with you guys and giving you guys some guidance and information or to clear up anything that you guys want to talk about. So there isn't anything particular that we can just talk about everything and anything. Lately, it's been kind of a weird thing. Hi, Dana. Welcome. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times if I'm supposed to be like talking or I have a reading coming up, I will get obsessed with watching certain things. Excuse me. And lately, I've been obsessed with watching things with like cult following stuff, like the Nexium stuff. I just saw the Twin Flames universe thing, which is kind of a weird thing, and it's there always seems to be a theme with it too. Anything that's kind of like run with men at the at the whole, like, no offense about any men that are watching, but it always has that something where it's like they prey on these vulnerable people. They bring them in with promises of they have all the answers, which, newsflash, no one has all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Even today, it's called a Q&A, and I can only give you answers of stuff that I know. I don't know everything. So no one knows all of the answers. But they prey on these people who are like in a vulnerable place, trying to figure out where they fit in this world, and they come out with like, and this is some of the issues is they use a lot of the information they're using is they're gathering it from the spiritual community, encouragement and empowerment and all that stuff. So they use all these keywords, but then there's always an underlining of fear and control. It's like, yes, you can have all this as long as you continue giving me all of your money and continue, because if you leave, something bad's going to happen. And that was like the thing that was like consistent off of all of it. Every single one of them. They instill fear in every single one of their followers, because that's why even when I was first watching it, a couple of things, and you're sitting back, and of course you're watching it from a different perspective because you're not in that. You weren't sold that line. So I'm watching, I'm like, who the hell would fall for this and stay in it for like 5-6 years to the point where they're like, they've invested so much money into these different ones. And there was like Twin Flames universe was the one I watched, and there was another one called Nexium, which the guy just got prosecuted because it was actually a sex cult. And then there was one that was called Holy Hell. And I was just like, what in the... I don't understand exactly what these guys, like, what it was. But they all had the same basis. They were all using spiritual lingo and bringing people in, promising enlightenment and all this other stuff. And then once they got them in there, they would... I don't even, like, make them believe certain things that... And all of these people that have left would say the same thing. They were like... Their intuition was kicking in and saying, there's something not right about this. But they were afraid to leave. And a couple of ladies actually said, what were we afraid of? That's the question. What were you afraid of? What was scaring you so much that made you stay? Because no one... you shouldn't be uncomfortable in anything, in any type of spiritual community. If someone starts giving you fear-based stuff and just telling you that, you need to stay because if you don't leave, someone in your family is going to die. And actually, that's one thing that happened to this one lady. She stayed in for the longest. And then when she finally got the courage to leave, her dad passed away, I think, within a month. And she still had the thinking of, oh my God, my dad passed away because I left the community. Because this is how much they scared them into thinking that. So it was kind of a weird thing that I started watching these, and I just started thinking, and it was just like the common denominator was fear throughout this, and how much fear plays into our daily lives that makes us stay longer than we really should in any situation, and with anything. So yeah, so it was kind of a weird thing, because I was like, well, what am I supposed to talk to these people about? And I'm like, just go with the flow. But then I did, I connected with my guides, and they did give me a message. So I'm going to read the message out to you guys. So this is the message from my guides. It says, hello, dear ones. Change is upon you soon, and things have been in the dark will soon come to light. Now, if this doesn't really make sense, it's like I was typing really, really fast. So hopefully you guys make sense of this. With the world, hold on a second. I can't read my own typing here. Okay. Changes upon you soon, and things have been in the dark will soon come to light. With the world and many of you opening up, you will start to see things differently. Things that didn't make sense or seem confusing will come together and become logical. You need to prepare yourself for some truths that will be revealed. Things that seem impossible will be shown to be absolutely possible. But like everything, you have a choice. You can either choose to see the truth and what's in front of you, or to continue how you are and stay hidden in the shadows for a little longer. Regardless of your decision, just remember to be kind to yourself and everyone around you. We encourage everyone to use your intuition now more than ever as the vibrations start to shift around you, and always know you are not alone and always protected. So that was a channeled message from my guides to share it with you guys. So I wanted to make sure that I read that out. So that being said, does anybody have any questions or anything that you guys want to tackle, or do you guys want me? I can pull some cards for you guys. I mean, sky's the limits here, people. Just let me know in the comments. Hopefully everybody, this is a new streaming system I've never used before, so hopefully everybody's still watching. Because it doesn't show me how many people are on, which is kind of a weird thing. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Because I'm going to get some cards then. I did pull a card earlier for everyone, and it was kind of weird because it kind of goes with that message, and I didn't even think about it. Oh, that's good. Okay. I pulled a card for the collective, and the card that I pulled, which was kind of, it was kind of weird because I wrote the message out. So it was the moon card. Take note of intuitive messages. Well, you guys can't even see what. Okay, take note of intuitive messages is the card that I pulled, and this is what it says. Lunar energies are surrounding your life, allowing you to understand what is standing in your way. Not everything is as it seems, and you're being guided to use discernment. When the movement appears, intuitive or psychic urges are increased. So take note of your feelings arising at this time. They are messages from your soul and angels. The moon shines her light on all that has been kept in the dark. So ask yourself, if you're avoiding anything or refusing to deal with something important, if so, it could be holding you in the shadows when your destiny is to be in the light. If this card appears when you feel someone isn't being completely real with you, know that their intuitions will be revealed to you. The moon has no secrets. She reveals all. So that is the message for the collective for you guys. Oh, the message. Oh, that's great. I'm fogging up my glasses. The message from the guides, from my guides, really. That's funny because every time I start to connect, my nose starts to run. But a lot of it has to do. You're welcome. A lot of it has to do with all of the changes that are coming in the world right now. It's a bigger message thing, but it's also to they're like what they were showing me was that there's a lot of stuff going on with our neighbors here, with our American neighbors, and a lot of times they're being guided by something that or by someone who's a bit chaotic. And basically what they were trying to say is, don't, everything's chaotic now, but at one point they're going to come for some help, and you are not to turn your back on them. Extend your hand and let them and welcome them in and be kind. Don't let them take advantage of you, but also be kind, because they're going to need help when they finally, you know, open their eyes and see what's going on. So that it's kind of like a dual thing, just because everything is kind of all over the place. So I'm just gonna pick. I'm just gonna pick out like 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is how we're gonna do it. Whew, it's getting hot in here. There's a song that starts like that. It's getting hot in here. So I'm gonna be picking out some about 4 cards. Yes, it is. It's a Canadian thing to do, but it's also the I can't even say it. Humanitarian thing to do as well. Not to help out someone else when they're in need. While I'm shuffling and getting the cards ready, I've got a couple of things coming up. I've got tomorrow. I'm actually going to be in Amherstburg Community Center services. I think it's a little late for them. So if you guys are, hopefully I'll see some of you guys tomorrow or somebody there. But yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be doing a speaking engagement with them, and they're going to provide some lunch and things. So it's great. So I'm going to teach some people how to tune into their own intuition, and I'm going to tell them a little bit about myself. So I'm doing that tomorrow. I'm on at noon, I think. And then I'm on Cooper's Hawk on the 29th. And that's at 3 o'clock. And I'll be talking about past lives, but it's not just past lives. I'll be connecting with spirit and things like that, but I'll also be talking about, you know, how some of the decisions from our past, how we've actually brought it in with us to this lifetime, and how we continue doing that, and how we can learn from that and heal from it, so that we're not continuing with those patterns and that karma and letting some of that stuff go. And then actually, people have already started buying tickets for this one. This one's in February. This one's on October 17th, the one at the Chrysler Theater. And people have already started buying tickets from that. Some people from Chatham and things. So it's awesome. And that's on October the 17th. So, but it is on sale already. It's at the Chrysler Theater. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the Women's Circle. I'm still like kind of iffy on a name, but I finally got the structure of what it is that I want to do with it. So for the time being, the Women's Circle is going to be it's going to be healing, and it's also going to be psychic awareness. But if depending on what the circle is, we're going to kind of go with the flow and see how it works out. So if more people are wanting to do more sexual, that was not what I gotta say. Some people want to do more psychic awareness, not sexual awareness. Then, wow, that's a whole other circle. Then we'll probably end up splitting them up. But for now, we're going to be doing them together. I was like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I said that. It's like the weirdest thing ever. Yes, it is. I don't know. It's maybe sexual healing is what we need. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Okay, so I picked 5 cards. It's like the weirdest thing. So I picked 5 cards. So you can pick a number from 1 to 5, and this will be the message for you. Or you can take them all. It doesn't say that you can't. You can take them all. So let's flip number 1. Now, I don't do it a lot of cards, so I like you guys are all laughing about the sexual circle. I'm not going to do that. I'm not really that professional at it, to tell you the truth. So yeah, so that's it's a bit embarrassing, to tell you the truth, but anyways. So the first card, if you pick card number 1, it's Shield Maiden. I like this is I'm trying to Okay, Shield Maiden is who she is. And it says make plans and focus. So if you pick this one, it's take some time to assess what your next step will be. All great warriors have a plan. You are a sensitive being, if you are not prepared for the tasks you are taking on, you could end up feeling exposed and helpless. The ancestors' guidance that is coming to you now is a reminder that you have a warrior's heart and that you have it within you to be more prepared and focused than you have been recently. So have a strategy in place and then let your guides support you as you move forward. So if you haven't been, it's time to make a plan so you can move forward. That's number one. Number two, wow, this card's thick. Kind of like me. No. Oh my God, I'm in the mood today. It must be the moon. Must be the moon. This one is the Air Guardian. So the Air Guardian is shift your perspective. So when this card arises, it's an opportunity to learn about your ways of thinking. You're being guided to recognize that not all you see is exactly the way you see it. Sometimes the mind can play games and sometimes our perspectives can be wrong. If you're feeling challenged or feel that there's a lack of clarity and direction in your life at the moment, there's a good chance the way you're thinking or what you're focusing has a lot to do with the reality. You are being guided to open your eyes and your mind, go beyond any limits you have set for yourself, and recognize that the way you see the world is how you will experience the world. Opportunities are moving in your direction, but they will only open up for you if you're ready to do the internal work to support them. So that's number two. It's a pretty good one. I think they're all. Wow, there's a lot of guardians in here. This is the first time I've really I shuffled them, and there's a lot of guardians. So this is number three, and number three is Direction Guardian. I think the messages are like pretty much just on point here. 90s. Direction Guardian. This is what the card looks like. Direction Guardian. Choose your path. Your path isn't set in stone, and your angels and guides have no expectations for you, nor should you have any for yourself. There are many directions you can take. None of them are wrong, as they all hold perfect opportunities to grow and to learn. But life is to be enjoyed and savored, so if you know that there's a decision to be made, and particularly if you're feeling indecisive, choose the path you know is going to make you light up, and choose it with your heart. So that is number three. Number four, it's another, it's a master. I have no idea how to say this guy's name. Shaolin Master? I think that's how you say it. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it, but Shaolin Master. Be graceful in movement and action. You're being guided to flow like water, blow like air, and connect with your purest intentions. Don't feel like you need to rush ahead. A gentler approach will be more fruitful and rewarding. Move with subtlety and grace. Reach high, but also ask yourself how you can move with the flow of life rather than pushing against it. Do you have a capacity to reinforce your gaze at this time? Can you slow down or take more time to soften and breathe as you move forward? All of this will be incredibly beneficial for what happens next. There you go. And the last one is Sage. Be devoted and committed. I really should learn how to read cards, but I don't use them in my readings. So I just go with the flow as the cards are saying. So this is the Sage card. It says be devoted and committed. Devotion is a powerful energy. Right now, angels and ancestors want to acknowledge how committed you are to your growth. Your continued dedication to this aspect of your life has been recognized, and your understanding that you are not only a body, but also a soul is all you need to continue growing and expanding. The energy of oneness is offering itself to you now, and it's important you take some time to integrate it all so that you can be supported and guided by it. This is what the divine wants for you. Make a note of experiences or teachers making themselves known to you at this time, because you are going to share those teachings one day too. So I hope that those cards resonated with you guys, and you guys picked one and it resonated, or you guys picked a ball. It doesn't matter. You guys being greedy, you guys can take the ball. But those are your messages today from Spirit. I wish I had like more that I could give you. I mean, if you guys have any questions or anything, we can tackle those, because I mean, I've talked to you guys about a few different things already. But just basically just really continue growing and just being open, because everybody's just starting to open right now. And things are really starting to happen and starting to change. And we're seeing a lot of those changes. Sometimes because you're so attuned to them, or you're so sensitive to them, that people don't really do well with change. So they think that it's going to be something bad. It's not necessarily something bad. It's just something different. And the more you resist, the harder you make it. So things are going to happen. They're out of your control. So you just kind of like got to go with the flow and say, if this happens, it happens. Let go of your fear. You can't really do much about that. This is out of your control, and you just kind of like embrace it. So that being said, does anyone have anything that they want to talk about? It's kind of a boring one this week. But I promise I'll come back with something better next week. But I don't know. Maybe I just needed to rest myself. Or you guys needed. If there's anything that you guys, like subject-wise, that you guys want to know, or you guys want to talk about again, just let me know in the comments, and then we'll go from there, and we can do that as well. It's not boring. I don't know, for some reason I find it boring, because I'm all here all by myself. I feel like Celine Dion. So I'm just, oh my God. It's been a long week. I've, part of one of the commitments that I've made to make changes on myself is I've decided that I needed to, get healthy. Positive, remember. Yes, I do. I've wanted to, stay always in the positive, but it's difficult. But I have decided to start doing something about also getting myself healthier, because the older you get, being heavy when you're young to being heavy, heavy in your 20s, it's differently than heavy in your 50s. Do you want to know more about angels one of these weeks? Okay, I will connect, and I will be. Oh, you love hearing from me. Thank you. I love talking to you guys. I will, Lee, next week we will do angels. And so any questions that you guys have about angels, whatever you guys want to know, send them over, and I will do my best, or you guys can save them for next week. But we will do a breaking the veil on angels. I know people always want to know about angels. I want to know about angels as well. So, but what was I saying? Oh, I've started part of the commitment that I've been doing, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys as well. And I'm kind of debating whether to do it in the circle or actually do it on one of the lives. And I may actually do both of them, but it's something that I found where it was like somebody was talking about changing your life, about changing it. How are you going to change it? Just sitting and Netflixing and chilling isn't going to change anything. Because you've got to, I hear people all of the time, and they talk about manifesting this whole life or whatever, and they'll go out and they'll make like this huge pegboard, and they have all of the stuff on there. and then they just sit back and do nothing. And which is great that you've done this pegboard and you put so much effort into it, and you went in and you found the best pictures and this and that, and you put all of these things on this pegboard or this bristle board of things that you wanted to change, in your life, and yet you made no effort to put any energy behind any of it. So people are like, well, I feel stuck. Of course you're going to feel stuck, because you're not doing anything. You're not putting any energy behind that to change that. So, if you wanted to learn, say, photography, and all you did was put up, you beautiful pictures, but you haven't even like looked into classes. Well, number one, so you can learn about lighting, or put any of that effort into it. Guess what? A year from now, you're still not going to know anything about photography. What do you think of the benefits of manifesting are any? Is manifesting projecting someone's take on what they want to for the future? Say or not to work. Girl. All right. This is what I hear about. This is what I've got my take on manifesting, because it has happened for me. And I wish I had the piece of paper that I had here. I didn't know. This is the problem. People don't know how manifesting works. People think that, okay, well, because I said it and I put it out in the universe, therefore it's just going to happen. It's like those people that I want to meet a man and yet don't go anywhere. They actually have this dream that a guy's going to show up at their door and knock on it and just going to come in and start dating them. I mean, that only happens in porn. No, I'm kidding. I don't know why. I'm just being silly today. The dishwasher guy is coming to pick your dishwasher. No. So let's just get serious for a minute. So people don't know how it works. It's one thing. The step one is to make a wish, right? So the wish. It's like, what do I want to do? And yeah, it is the moon. Because when I was saying it, I kept hearing that, chicka mama. I was like repairman calling. So, I mean, that's one way to get a man. If that works, you do you. But no. Let's get back to manifesting. Well, let's actually use a man. I have had many people that have come to me and they're like, when can I find, where am I going to find this guy? I want to go on a date. I want to start dating because, either they've been single for a while or whatever. So they're ready to get back into the game, right? They're cracking their knuckles and are like, but this is the problem. A lot of them, the last time they dated was in their 20s. And things have changed a lot in the last 20 to 30 years. So I'll say to them, I'm like, well, what have you done? Because they're trying to manifest a relationship. They're trying to manifest a man. So it's like, well, what have you done? Have you joined a group for singles in your age? Have you looked at the dating? Have you looked into doing speed dating? Have you looked into going and hiring a someone who finds you a man, one of those date people, whatever that find. I can't even think of them. Just wait for the full moon. Yeah, he'll come. So I'll say, what have you done? And they just kind of look at me with a blank stare, well, what do you mean? And I'm just like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? It's, yes, if you want to have a relation, if you want to be in a relationship and you want that, you're going to have to go after it. You're going to have to put that energy out. So you're going to have to actually leave your house. You're going to have to change out of your pajamas and make an effort, because they're not going to just come around knocking on your door. And if you're trying to get your friends to meet someone, to hook you up with someone, that's not always going to work, because if you sometimes, just like I always say, you're not going to take relationship of advice from a friend whose relationship is shitty. So if someone else's relationship is falling apart, you really want to take relationship advice from that person? No, you're going to look at someone else who actually has a balanced relationship, who has a happy relationship, who've been together for a while, and they have a mutual respect for each other. That's the one that you want in relationship advice from. So it's the same kind of thing. You need to start putting effort behind it. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, you'll get someone. He might not be the one that you want right away. That might be just someone who was like, it's kind of like the tester before you get the real thing. But I mean, it's starting to come. Just like, and the same thing goes for manifesting. So if you want to get, if you want to start making more money, or you want to start changing your career, whatever it is that you want to manifest a better car or whatever it is, you're going to have to start putting some effort behind that. You're going to have to start doing some research and looking at stuff and going here and putting that energy behind it. So the universe is like, oh, okay, this is what they want. So I'm going to start sending them all of this stuff. Here's a perfect example. I can only speak for myself because that's all I will ever speak for myself. I went and I did I was mentoring with someone. This is during COVID. I was doing a class. We were online, so we had nothing else to do, like everything, right? So they were offering different classes. And I took a class with someone. It was kind of like, find your bliss, find your direction, whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm at home anyway, so let's just do it. And one of the classes was manifesting. So in the class, they said, I want you to make a list of everything that you want to do in the next, I think she did put a date on it. She's like, have something out there so that you want to do and want to accomplish in the next 4 years, whatever it was, like a timeline. She told us to put a timeline on it. So I put a timeline on it and I wrote it out. I wrote out exactly what it was. So my very first thing, I'm trying to remember the list because I just found it the other day because I completely forgot about it. But on the list, the very first one on the top was to get healthy. So I wanted to start losing weight. I wanted to get healthy. That's always been my number one. And that's always been the one that's kind of like eluded me. Number 2 was to start doing private one-on-one readings. Because I was starting to do them, but I was still very much like in the closet kind of thing. I hadn't really come out. So that was one of my things, was to start doing them and start like just coming out. The number 3, I believe, was to start doing in-person events. Now, if you guys are following, all of those stuff has come true. Number 4 was to be on the radio. Now, mind you, I had no idea how I was going to do this. I just started putting it out there and just started like one at a time. And things started showing up. And number 5 was to be on TV. And actually, I was on TV. I was on Family Feud. So, all of those things. And it was funny because I got I found my goals list because I had done it for the class and I kind of put it away. But there was always something that was in the back of my mind. And number 1, getting healthy, I've just really started seriously. I just said it again the other day. Just sitting back, I was like 3 days ago. I said, I'm sick and tired of feeling this way. I'm sick and tired of not being able to do certain things because of how I feel and how big I am. I want to start getting back to healthy. Like, it's been a while. I hurt myself. That's part of the reason why the weight came back on. I'm sick and tired of feeling this way. So I want to start feeling healthy. I am just so confused and so overwhelmed with all of the stuff that keeps coming at me, bombarding me and kind of throwing me off of my game and self-sabotaging myself and this and that. So can you please send me someone to give me some guidance? Because I am completely lost. 2 days after that, I had a friend of mine that 2 days after that, I had a friend of mine who is a celebrity trainer, reach, he's in town. You guys have probably known him as well. Like I've mentioned him a few times, Craig Ramsey. He's an amazing guy. He came into town and I saw him at the gym. I was there with my trainer, and we made plans to meet up for coffee. So we went for coffee, and during the coffee break, he said, "How is your cardio going?" And I said, "Well, I really don't do cardio right now. I'm just been concentrating on weights and things like that." And I gave him why I was doing it, because I was trying to build muscle, because as you get into the premenopausal stage, women lose muscle like crazy. And I was like, my balance is off and this and that. And then he started to tell me, he's like, well, you need to start doing cardio. And I said, well, I'm kind of confused as how to do cardio, because whenever I've done it, and you would think that you just walk, right? But it's not it. I've done that and I've hurt myself. I've hurt my back, I've hurt my knees. And then when you start hurting yourself, you don't want to do it anymore. And he said, I'm going to help you. If you want, I will help you. And I immediately got like the lump in my throat, and I almost said, no, that's okay. Because I was like, I kept thinking, oh my God, he's going to be like the guy on The Biggest Loser. And he's just going to put me on a treadmill and he's just going to be yelling at me. And even though I've known this man for years and I know he's not that type of person, but that's the first thing. The fear grabbed me at that point. And I'm just like, he's going to start yelling at me. And he's like, you're not going fast enough. I'm not going to be wearing a sports bra. So my boobs are going to be like boom, 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 boom. I'm going to hurt myself and I'm not going to go back. I don't know why my mind went there, but that's where it went. But that's what happens when fear takes over. And I kind of swallowed my no, and I said, that would be great. Because I said, I'm really lost and I don't know what to do. And he said, by all means, continue with your trainer that you have to do the weights. He's like, but I will help you in the cardio part of it so that you don't hurt yourself. And then he started explaining it to me, and he explained it. And he's like, you know what? He goes, you got to look at it this way. You're going to be doing this stuff and the weight's going to start coming off, and you'll never have to work this hard again, because once it's off, it's just maintaining it. And that's the easy part. And I never really thought of it that way, because it's just like you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, I got to go work out again, and my back's going to hurt and my leg's going to hurt. And he all said that. He's like, your legs, your knees, your back, everything's going to hurt. But you have to think of it this way. It will eventually stop and you won't have to do it again. You're just doing it this one time and you won't have to do it again. And I said, you're right. And I took him up on his offer. So, and I've been going to the gym, like, I wasn't this person, but I've been going every day, and he's been great, because he's been going cardio with me, and he's been beside me, and he's correcting it. And the way he's been teaching me, I haven't been hurting. Because the one day I did go by myself, I did hurt. I came back and I was in a lot of pain. And then when I started doing it with him, he would watch me and he would tell me, I think you need to slow down now, because it's when you slow down your heartbeat. There was something about how, your heartbeat starts to get faster. He's like, that's when you actually stop. You stop, you let your heart rate go down, and then you get back on. And then once your heart rate gets back down and your breathing gets to normal, you hop back on this treadmill and you start walking again. And he's like, that is what helps. It's the changing of the heart rate that helps the weight loss. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. All of this time that I've, like, before, when I used to work out and stuff, never, ever, ever anybody explained it to me like that. And I mean, he's got a wealth of knowledge. So I'm like going to utilize whatever he will give me for the longest time, so that I am able to finally get past this hump that it's been taking for so long. Because I've been working out with my 20-year-old trainer, who's great, and doing weights and stuff now for a year. But now it's like I need to take it to the next level. So that, and the fact that I found my goal list that I had done 4 years ago, tucked in the middle of like another pages, because I clearly wrote it out and I just forgot about it, like the paper. So it's just like check, 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 check. And now finally I can actually start checking off the very first one, because I've really started it. So the whole manifesting thing, it's not a crock or anything else, but it's just not saying it. you have to put some power behind it because it works off of your energy. So the energy, the universe doesn't care whether it's whatever you want. If you go out there to the universe and say, I'm a shitty person and don't deserve anything great, the universe is like, all right, this is what they want. Pile it on. So if you say the opposite, where it's like, I'm an amazing person and I deserve everything in abundance, except for like the abundance of great stuff, not bad stuff, the universe is like, all right, this is what they want. Pile it on. So it's like you really have to choose what your words are. Because I've had people come here and they're like, I'm cursed. I'm cursed. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I'm getting cursed. And I'm like, well, if you keep continually saying cursed, you're cursed. Guess what? Bad stuff are just going to continue happening because that's what you're putting that you want out there. So people tend to forget that the manifestation thing, it's just what you're putting out. So if you're putting out that life's not worth living and that this is as good as it's going to get, then you're absolutely right. The universe will never contradict you. This is as good as it's going to get. But if you change the way you're thinking and saying, you know what, it's a little crappy right now, but it's going to get better. And I'm not going to be sitting here around waiting for this to get any worse. I'm going to start taking my life back into my own hands because I am the driver. So this is what I want to happen. Boom, boom, boom. And start putting that energy behind it. And you'll start to see changes start happening. Now, people will think that they're like, well, I said it and it's been 3 days and nothing's happened. Or I've done this and nothing's happened. There are certain times that it needs to happen so that it actually has, so that there's certain synchronicities that need to happen together. So you just can't be like, well, it needs to happen now. That's not always the way it's going to be because there's certain guidance and things that you need to do. So it's kind of, everything just kind of goes together. But you are in control of a lot of that. So I hope that answers your question, Dana. I know it was a really long answer. So to answer your question, yes, I think there's a tremendous amount of benefit to it because I've noticed I've noticed it myself and just things that have been happening in my life and synchronicities that I would have never ever would have thought happen. So it's just like you just start putting it out there and you don't have to. The problem with us is being human, we want to try and control everything. And that was probably my biggest thing was I wanted to control everything. I'm at that point where it's like, you know what? I don't need to know how it's going to happen. This is what I want. I'm going to start doing whatever I can to the best of my ability and start putting the energy behind that. And let's just see how it comes up. And I have literally had strangers that have come up to me and have just said, you know what? I think I don't know, for some reason, I feel like I want to help you. I've had people say that to me. And they just start laughing and they're like, I don't know why. And I'm just like, I know why. And I'm just like, well, what is it that you do? And then whatever it is that they do, I'm like, I just asked for that 2 days ago. So, and it's funny. It's a weird coincidence, And so all of a sudden you just walk into a coffee shop or you're in a restaurant and it's like a friend of a friend. I have to give my notebook another chance, but I need to change my thinking to more positive, which is hard. The one thing that I had the hardest time with, Sandra, I do have to say is, and I still have it to this day, is with changing my mindset. That was probably the one that was hardest, and probably because we're always looking for proof. The problem is we're always looking for proof for the bad shit that's happening. So now you got to change it so you start looking for proof of the good stuff. Because if you're looking for proof of bad shit, you're always going to find it. Right? So changing the negative stuff, yeah, that's probably the hardest. And it's still probably the biggest one now for me. Because even sometimes now I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, fuck sakes, really? And then I catch myself going, okay, wait, no, what was the lesson that I learned there? Yeah, never trust that person. Still a little negative, but it worked. But sometimes it takes a minute, right? You gotta like, it's you're human, so I'll catch myself with it, and then you just kind of make a joke and laugh about it because what else are you gonna do? Can't cry. I mean, you can, but you don't want to waste your tears on that. So you just kind of take a deep breath and go with it. It is what it is. So, but definitely, yeah, it is. It'll be a big obstacle and it'll probably be the one that's going to be the hardest for you. But once you change it, you'll start to notice things will change with you. You start to notice different changes that will come along. And you'll also start to notice that people will start to push those buttons because people that are used to you always being negative or always seeing the bad and stuff, they'll be like, they'll start to come at you and they will like, because they're so used to you being this type of person that they'll try to push the buttons because you're like, come on, you used to talk shit about stuff all the time. Where's the person that you like, the trauma bonder? Where's that person that always sees the glass half full? Where's that person now? And you're like, well, no, I'm not that person anymore. And a lot of times, sometimes they'll make fun of you for not being that person. You're just like, well, that's great. Because then if you kind of look at their life is not the greatest either. So yeah, so it takes some time. Hi, Lisa. So it does take some time to change your mindset, but it's just, it's, you just got to do it. If you want changes, you're the only one that can make them. But it also depends on, who you surround yourself with. So start looking around at some of the people that you open up to stuff about. Are they supportive or are they just wanting to wallow in misery? I understand that, but you have to have someone that's also positive for you. If you're always the one who's lifting someone else up and no one's lifting you, then that's lacking. That's not a balanced relationship. And if you're having a hard time, accepting a compliment or accepting someone saying nice to you, instead of like poo-pooing it when they say something nice, just stop yourself and just say thank you and accept it the way it is. It's going to feel weird at first because it does with me. Even sometimes to this day, I still have a hard time, but it gets easier. It does get easier. Because I still find myself sometimes catching when someone's like, oh, thank you for everything you've done. I'm just kind of like, oh no, it's okay. But then I've stopped myself and say, you know what? You're very welcome. I'm glad that I've helped you out. And I kind of leave it at that. Because in essence, they help me out sometimes too, because a lot of times through some of the stuff that I've able to get them, I also get some message from them. Yeah, it does feel awkward, but it'll get better. Lisa, you got a question? Will your daughter's father finally come home to you in March or June or July and fix my porch that he promised he would? I'm not sure if he's going to fix your porch, but are you looking at him just coming home to fix your porch or actually coming home to you? I think you've called in before when I was in radio, Lisa, because this sounds familiar. Um, I'm not getting that to be honest, I'm not getting that he's coming back. And if he does, it's not going to be something that he's going to be staying. So if that's the question that you really wanted to ask. So yeah, by all means, if you guys haven't put something together, I think we're in the ladies circle. I think we're probably going to do a manifestation thing and probably explain to everyone how it actually does, because everyone has their own goals that they want to achieve, and you don't have to understand how you're going to get there. And maybe I'll do a live on a manifestation as well, so that people really understand it, and we can start working on that, and giving you guys a mantra and stuff to do, and just getting you guys started on that, because sometimes it's just getting the starting of it, and giving you guys a little help on how to manifest things that you want, and sky's the limit. I mean, why go small, go big? I didn't. When I put on my list, I had no idea how I was going to get on the radio. I had no idea how I was going to get on TV. And so they surprise you. So I think we're going to end with that. So I hope that you guys, enjoyed the broadcast. And next week we'll be on angels. So we'll start talking about some angels, and I'll give you all the information I can on angels. They tend to be a little secretive, so there's limited information, but I'll give you whatever I can. So hopefully, guys, have a great rest of your week, and good night.